Are you missing that key player on your team and don't have the coins to afford them? Go to Buy Muck Coins for instant delivery on Ultimate Team coins. Use code SAVAGE for 10% off at checkout. Yo guys, what's going on? It's Savage here, and we're going to be doing something a little different today. I hope you guys do enjoy it, but I'm trying to keep the content really popping on the channel as we await for Madden 18. We're going to be starting a top 5 series, only if you guys like it. Pretty much today what we are going to be talking about is the top 5 one-hit wonder NFL seasons, meaning players that just had one season in their entirety of their career that really put them on the map, that really gave them life. It made them look like they were going to be a superstar before they fell off. But we are going to start off with some honorable mentions with 2 players that have had just one game, not even an entire season, just one game that made them look like, oh my goodness, this could be a future Hall of Famer, a future beast, before just falling flat on their face a few games after. But first, the first player is Washington Redskins running back Timmy Smith, who did not get his first start. This was his rookie year. They made it to the Super Bowl, and he started in the Super Bowl. Never started a game in the NFL before, but he was a standout in the Super Bowl 22 against the Denver Broncos, where George Rogers was hurt the entire playoffs. He was hurt the entire playoffs, and Joe Gibbs made the executive decision to start Smith in the Super Bowl, and he wasn't even the true backup. The true backup was Kelvin Bryant, but Joe Gibbs made the executive decision to start Smith in the Super Bowl because he felt like he was a lot more explosive and a lot more versatile. And turns out he was 204 yards, which to this date is a Super Bowl rushing yard record, most Super Bowl rushing yards in NFL history, as well as 2 touchdowns. And then after that game, he only played for 2 more years, and he did not go very far. He wound up actually staying with the Redskins for 1 more year, then played for the Cowboys, and then that was it. Nothing after that. And a more recent star that had one of the most miraculous performances all the way back in 2014, running back for the Patriots. He's on the Jacksonville Jaguars now. It is Jonas Gray, first running back since 1921. He had 4 touchdowns. First running back since 1921 to ever rush for 4 touchdowns in a single game. Plus, he had 201 yards rushing as well. And what even makes it more insane is when you have Tom Brady and he's not throwing 4 touchdowns, he's letting somebody actually run the ball for 4 touchdowns. That's pretty insane. But those are our honorable mentions. Now we are going to hop into the 5 one-hit wonder seasons. Making it into the number 5 spot, and the reason that Nick Foles is number 5 is because I feel like, you know, he could definitely, if he works and gets coached a little bit better, he could definitely find his way back at a starting job. So I would not quite call him out of it yet, but as of right now, he's out of it. So Nick Foles, in 13 games in 2013, he had 64 completion percentage, just under 2,900 yards, 2 for 27 touchdowns, and in the game that you are watching right now is the game that he actually ties the NFL record for most touchdowns in a single NFL game at 7, man. And you know, when you hit Riley Cooper up for 3 touchdowns, including this 63-yard bomb right there, you know that something is up. Nick Foles, hell of a season for him, but unfortunately after that season does get injured the prior season, and then after that season he only played 8 games the following season. He actually gets released, gets picked up by the Rams for 2 seasons, and then by the Chiefs, and I'm pretty sure he is now back on the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's go make our way to number 4. Alright, at number 4, we have wide receiver from the Denver Broncos, Brandon Lloyd. Now, I bet you a lot of you have forgotten about this dude, unless you had him on your fantasy team like I did. He was an absolute steal if you were able to pick him up in free agency on fantasy. I definitely remember that. He was a beast. He had in 2010, he had 77 catches, 1,448 yards at the end of the season with 11 TDs. He eventually found himself on the Patriots roster after 2 years. And dude, by the way, he was catching balls from Kyle Orton in most of these highlights. I'm pretty sure there's like a pass or 2 from Tebow, but most of these are literally from Kyle Orton, which is crazy. Look at this. This dude was going up, making acrobatic catches, making it look easy. But after he found himself on the Patriots roster, it looked like he was going to revive his career. He did have a little over 900 yards there with 4 TDs, but then he did get released and go to the 49ers, and well, yeah, I think that's enough said. coming in at the number 3 spot. I'm pretty sure I just said this guy's name too. Yup, I'm talking about quarterback Tim Tebow, man. 2011 season, by far one of the most memorable seasons just for me, just because I remember he literally dotted the Steelers up in the freaking playoffs. Yes, Tim Tebow did destroy the Steelers in overtime over Ike Taylor to Demaryius Thomas. And take note, this is before Demaryius Thomas was really in like prime Demaryius Thomas form. He was just on the come up. So in a way, I guess you could say Tim Tebow paved Demaryius Thomas's greatness. Nope. Okay, 14 games under 50% completions. That's atrocious. That's literally so bad. He had 1,729 passing yards in 14 games. That's like a little over 110 a game, barely. He also had 660 rushing yards, but 18 total touchdowns. That was a season to remember. Everybody I knew was Tebowing. You were probably Tebowing. Dog, I thought Tim Tebow was going to be the GOAT. I really wanted the best for him, but hey, now he's hitting home runs, ain't he, for like some minor league team. That's pretty dope, but yup, man, that is the number 3 single season of greatness that could have been something better, but it wasn't. So yeah, thank you, Tim Tebow. Now, coming in at number 2 is definitely probably going to surprise a few people, but it's going to be Robert Griffin III. We're talking about his rookie campaign. This is the year of 2012. He threw for 3,200 yards with a 65 completion percentage and 20 TDs. Not to mention, he actually ran for only 120 yards. Now, you know him as a mobile QB. So when you hear such a low number, like look at Tim Tebow, he ran for 660. And you got RG3, who ran for 120, but RG3 actually had 7 rushing touchdowns because most of his rushing touchdowns came from right around the goal line with that QB power, just like back when he was at Baylor. And if you look at the season after this, he actually played 13 games, and he did pretty good. He actually threw for 3,200 yards again, but with 4 less touchdowns. But then the year after that, it was really where the decline hit. It was a slow decline, but it was a decline. And nonetheless, he found himself injury-plagued now, where he can't even start for the Cleveland Browns. So, it's definitely unfortunate. I had such high hopes for this kid. I really enjoyed watching RG3 play, man. Super explosive, super unique player, man. And it just sucks when you have to see good players like this go down because of injury. Some players can recover, some players can't. Unfortunately for RG3, it doesn't look like he quite can. And finally, at our number 1 spot, I'm sure a lot of you guys could guess this. We are talking about running back Peyton Hillis, who honestly, man, I really wish the best for this kid, especially after he got released by the Browns. You know, he bounced around to a couple of teams, and it sucks. It sucks. He had 1,177 yards and 11 touchdowns. 1,177 yards in 2010 with 11 touchdowns. Then he got bit by what else but the Madden curse, man. It sucks. Literally, if there is such thing as a Madden curse, he was Madden cursed. This dude played absolutely outstanding, was super consistent, great in between the tackles, and guess what? Even in space, even in the pass game, he wasn't too bad. Very unique player. Just one season was all it took for him. That's all he had. And yeah, that is going to be the conclusion of our list. And if you guys enjoyed this video and like to see more stuff like this, be sure to let me know down below in the comments section. And always be sure to give a like if you did enjoy, because that shows me, yes, not only if you comment, if you click the like button, it means that you guys want to see more. Suggest some other top 5s I could do. And of course, subscribe if you're new. Have a wonderful rest of your night.